Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. We are now heading on to chapter 7. Hopefully we'll get some more. Hopefully Keiichi will remember and acknowledge the other worlds and we'll get out of this kind of same loop here. And get more of the story. So let's just dive in. Sorry for interrupting your lunch, but can I have your attention, please? My classmates looked at me with surprise. I stood at the front of the room and banged on the blackboard. I needed to get their attention. You can listen while you eat. I want to talk about our classmate, Satoko. Everyone went quiet as soon as I brought up her name. They all knew how bad of a situation Satoko was in. Remembering what happened to her last year, they understood how critical it was she get help as soon as possible. Everyone was thinking they wanted to save Satoko if they could. They hadn't done anything because they didn't know what they could do alone. I don't think there's a need for me to explain what's going on. As you all know, Satoko's been absent for 3 days in a row. It's been 3 days since she got kidnapped by her uncle. He called the school and told them she still has a cold, but I don't believe that. She hasn't even been at the clinic, visited the clinic in these past 3 days. My classmates, think about this logically for a moment. If she's really sick, why would he not take her to the clinic for 3 whole days? It's hard to believe she's been sick for that long, yeah. She might have the flu, but if that's the case, she should be seeing a doctor. The whole class agreed that it was a bit strange. Everyone had been thinking the same thing inside their hearts. However, no one had really come forward and talked about it. This was a good start. Just think about it. Satoko is the healthiest girl in this village. She won't even get sick after eating food that's past the expiry date. But now she somehow got sick all of a sudden and missed school for 3 days? That's hard to believe, isn't it? The answer is simple. Her uncle is forcing her to stay home. We reported this case to the Child Consultation Center. However, they're putting it on hold. We went there, but all they told us is that they can't talk about it due to privacy reasons. What do you guys think? I think it's wrong. We all know how her aunt and uncle were treating her last year. Besides, Satoko was living happily with Rika. It's wrong for him to force her to move out of there and keep her away from us. The sight of Reina letting her emotions speak for her when she was normally so quiet demonstrated most of all how dire the situation was. Reina brought an intensity to this that I couldn't, since I often yelled and shouted about things. Are we just going to leave things as they are? Satoko's our friend. She's our classmate. We've spent time together in this classroom and we're like family to each other. We learned together, played together, ate together, fought each other. We've spent so much time together that a relationship is as tight as families. Should we neglect someone who's that precious to us? Raise your hand if you want to neglect her. I'm sure none of you want to do that. No way! We must help her! The class was filled with commotion, which is exactly what I was looking for. The louder I talked, the louder the classmates got. They were getting all fired up. The more I let my true colors show, the greater everyone's emotions became as well. Our club is already making its move. We're trying to figure out how we can save her. Do you know that, Tomita-kun? No, that I did not. Let me tell you what our plan is. Don't worry, it's not something illegal. We're trying to fight, but without breaking the rules. In truth, nothing is more effective in society than taking an orthodox stand. Playing underhanded and striking by surprise may seem more effective, but that's as insignificant as Jack in the Box. A real unorthodox attack can punch through anything. Yeah, I've heard that even in karate, a straightforward punch can deliver the greatest impact. When you think about the physics of it, it's only natural a straightforward, simple head-on strike would hold the most power. We're already doing the right thing by saving Satoko. Therefore, there's no need for us to do anything underhand to accomplish that. We need to fight openly.
So, who are we fighting against?
That's a good question, Okamura-kun. This is a fight true. However, we're not going to be violent. We're following the rules. This is the honest way to conduct a battle. Before we go any further, let me just get back to how we're going to save her. This is the current situation. Satoko is there. Her uncle is locking her up inside the house. Apparently, she has no obvious injuries as of yesterday, but we don't know for sure if she hasn't gotten hurt since then. Besides, preventing her from going to school is already child abuse. Check this out. This is a brochure that Mion brought from the Child Consultation Center. It's written clearly in here. Keeping a child away from school is abuse. On top of that, her uncle left Satoko on her own for a year. That's considered neglect. Neglect also counts as abuse. However, the Child Consultation Center didn't even take that into consideration. They ignored the fact that he had neglected her for 1 year. And they believe that she hasn't come to school because she's sick. That is really ridiculous. 1 year is a very, very long time. They concluded that Satoko was not being abused because she had no obvious injuries. What do you all think?
Maibara, this is a blatant case of child abuse. Just because she doesn't have any injuries does not prove she's getting abused. I agree. How come they can't see it? It's so obvious.
From what Mion heard from inside their office, 2 or 3 days isn't enough time to determine if abuse is taking place or not. Apparently, they can only recognize it as abuse after it has continued over several months or several years. She says they have to evaluate the situation very carefully. So what do you think about that? Do you think keeping Satoko in that house for several months is a good idea?
No way, nah.
Exactly! Absolutely no way. The Child Consultation Center has no idea how much danger Satoko is facing. They don't know how terrible it was for her. That's why they're just putting her case on hold. What would you do, Tomita?
Sir, I think the issue here is the Child Consultation Center isn't grasping the urgency of her situation. I think someone needs to go there and explain how serious it is.
Right! It might be routine for them to wait and see what happens. But in Satoko's case, that's not applicable. Her uncle was abusing her last year, too. He was taking out his stress on her. After the death of her aunt, he left Satoko all alone and disappeared somewhere for an entire year. You know what? We even have information that he disappeared because he tried to move in with his lover in Okonomiya. What was Satoko doing while he left her? She was fortunate because Rika offered her a place to stay, but what if Rika wasn't there? She'd have no choice but to try to survive on her own. Furthermore, we also know that he came back to Hinamizawa because his lover disappeared somewhere. In other words, she dumped him. He had no choice but to come back to Hinamizawa, and he forced Satoko to live with him again. Her neighbors have seen her doing laundry too. The reason he took Satoko with him is clear. He took her so she could work as a slave. How could anyone do something like that? Is there anyone in this classroom that would call such a rotten person a parent? After he spent a whole year playing around with his mistress only to come waltzing back and throwing his weight around?
No! No way!
Right. He's not our guardian, but the Child Consultation Center still calls him that. They claim they'd have to go through the family court in order to take his parental rights away. Who has the right to decide whether he's good enough to be Satoko's guardian? It shouldn't be the court. It should be decided based on common sense. I can say this clearly. He is not Satoko's guardian. We need to make that clear to Child Consultation Center. The Child Consultation Center is the only organization that can help Satoko before she's physically abused. The police won't move unless it develops into a criminal case. But do you think that we're going to wait until she becomes a victim? We can't just sit around until that happens. That's why we're going to make our move now. We hit the Okonomiya Child Consultation Center yesterday. This is what they wrote after we did. 5 classmates of Satoko Hojo made a visitation to request her protection. Do you know what that means? 5 is not enough. We need your help. We need all of you. This is your chance to do something meaningful in your life. If you don't help us, you're not our friends. All of you have to do is support me. I'll do all the talking, and our club members will do the fighting. We just want you guys to support us. If that's not enough, feel free to join the fight. Let them know the spirit of the Hinamizawa branch school.
Mabara, what is going on?
She looked into the classroom, commotion having attracted her attention. As soon as she tried to step into the class, someone behind her stopped her.
Principal?
Miss Chi, I would like to have some tea. Would you make me a cup, please? It was clear, his display of intent not to disrupt Keiichi's speech.
Are you sure? There's a lot of young children in the class. If they all go to the center, how can we explain it to the parents? Chi. Rude, what's going on?
Everyone's trying so hard for Satoko's sake. I can't do anything, so I need their help. But I can at least try to stop you from stopping them.
She had never seen Rika staring at her with an expression like that. She was surprised to see Rika looking so determined. Why would you want to stop them?
Principal!
This is splendid, isn't it? They should do what they can. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. The principal pounded his own chest. She couldn't object any longer.
I understand. Please make sure no one gets hurt. You all must follow the rules and mind your manners. You have to promise me that.
Thank you very much.
I'm proud of you, Miss Chi.
My students are teaching me so many lessons. Yes, I made my decision. My students are like my own children. And what mother wouldn't protect her own children?
All right. The fact that the kids are doing more than the adults is the real tragedy in this story. Head back out as soon as you get home today and meet us at Okonomiya Library. The Child Consultation Center is on the first floor.
Yeah! Wait! Chi-sensei!
Are you gonna stop us?
Certainly not. I truly understand your passion. I'm going to support you as long as you follow the rules. Yeah! I'm coming with you to make sure you behave yourselves. Is that alright? Yeah! Alright, here we go. We're getting all fired up.
We headed for the library as soon as we got back home from school. I'd expected that few kids wouldn't show up, but surprisingly, everybody came along. I could tell just how driven they were. It was also encouraging to have Chi with us. I had to admit I had been feeling a bit guilty for dragging everyone to the center. But as long as Chi with us, I didn't need to feel that guilt. Maibara, please come to the counter. Hello, I'm Maibara. How can we help you today? As I wrote on the registration form, we came to tell you about the danger Satoko was in. How many are you here today? And how are you all related to her? We're Satoko's classmates and her teacher. There's 27 of us. Well, our consultation room is not very large. Can we ask just a few people to come inside?
Then shouldn't you prepare a bigger room, like a meeting room? I believe you should be arranging a room for us, not asking us to adjust to yours.
Please just give us a moment. The receptionist seemed troubled. She told us to head back to our seats and started to make a phone call.
Good job, Reina. I consider myself a pro, and even I thought that threat was perfectly timed. Trying to compliment me?
Reina's good at reading other people's minds. Sometimes she can use that talent against the enemy to intimidate them. A strange atmosphere permeated the office. It must have been the first time the whole class had visited on behalf of one child. It was as though we were here for a school trip. Well, hello. I'm Hariyama, the manager of this center. Please take a seat.
I'm sorry for bringing the whole class to your office. I'm Chief from the Hinamizawa Branch School. We're here to talk with you today.
They were treating us so differently now that we had 5 times as many kids plus 1 adult. Instead of that small consultation room, they took us to a big meeting hall. On top of that, the manager was there alongside the man from yesterday.
I'll let Mabar do the talking.
She sat down at the far end of the table. She was just here to look after us. Besides, like I said, we were the ones who were going to fight. It was fine if she just stayed there and watched quietly. I'm Keiichi Maibara. Nice to meet you. Well, I've heard that yesterday you visited us with 5 of your friends to present your valuable thoughts to us on Satoko's case. Are you here on a different matter today? I hadn't expected that they would start the conversation. What were they thinking?
I don't like how ambiguous this feels. It feels like they're debating how to move, unsure if the fault lies with us or not. Kei, you should clearly tell them why we came and let them know that they're in the wrong.
My friends were analyzing the situation behind me. It felt like I was having a meeting with the president of a foreign country. Actually, that wasn't far from the truth. I was sort of the prime minister. I was representing the whole class. I needed to be polite but stern. Alright, let's attack from this angle then. Kei, tell them something like this. Got it? Mion gave me her attack plan. This really is how Mion operates best. If she's weak on defense, then I can bear the brunt with impudence, while Mion issues perfect orders from behind. I took my friend's analysis and advice in consideration and calmly opened my mouth. No, first let me confirm something with you. We've come here today to make sure we came to convey what was properly conveyed to you. So I apologize if this seems rude. But could you please tell us how much you've grasped from our conversation yesterday? It's alright if that just means reading a memo aloud. They became quiet for a second. It might have been only a short time, but the silence felt much longer than that. I could see the manager's expression turning serious. He thought he was just dealing with a social studies class, but suddenly his response changed to that of dealing with a protest group of local citizens. From my understanding, we've acknowledged that you came to appeal that Satoko Hojo is in an extreme situation, meriting temporary protection from our agency, and that we should expedite our response. I believe our staff at the time explained that we are not taking her situation lightly, and are currently discussing the appropriate measures. So taking into consideration the fact that Satoko was suffering abuse from her uncle at this time last year, you still believe an urgent response is unnecessary? Well, our organization has no confirmed records that Teppei was administering abuse at the time last year. What? What the hell were you guys doing last year? She was being abused by both her aunt and uncle. Please don't tell us that you were only aware about the abuse from her aunt. Normally, we don't talk about such private affairs, but under these special circumstances, I think it's acceptable to say. We are aware there was trouble between Satoko and her aunt, Tamai. However, we have no record showing that her uncle was also involved in the abuse. In fact, when we interviewed her neighbors, several mentioned Tamai's slight hysteric tendencies, but none ever brought up the name of the uncle. We believe that's simply because his abuse didn't stand out under the shadow of her aunt's especially vicious nature. We do not believe this constitutes evidence that her uncle was not abusing her as well. I see. So you claim there was likelihood that Teppei also inflicted abuse on the child at this time last year? The manager and staff beside him jolted back down with a pin, as if to show that it was the first time hearing the information. This is why we came here today. We believe the Child Consultation Center does not have a proper understanding of her present situation. We believe you should see how urgent this case is once you fully understand it. I see. We're taking that into consideration. Please allow us to do a more thorough investigation into Tepe.
We mentioned this yesterday as well, but her uncle had abandoned his responsibilities as guardian for over a year. We received no response on this information yesterday, but what is your organization's opinion on this matter?
Of course, our office is aware that Tepe was absent from his residence, and we have interviewed him on that matter.
So what was his excuse? I mean, you can't talk about it for privacy reasons, but if it convinced all of you, it must have justified leaving her alone for a whole year, right? If you believe living with his mistress in Okonomiya is sufficient reason for abandoning his responsibilities for a full year, then we would like to see that in writing.
No, is that what happened? He explained he was forced to work away from home in order to raise Satoko, so this is the first time hearing that.
What the hell? They just believe that crap? If it's your first time hearing, then you should also know Satoko has been absent for 3 days now. While he contacted the school yesterday to say she had a cold, the only hospital in the village, the Ide clinic, has no records of her being examined. What do you believe the proper response is for a guardian who refuses to take a child to the hospital when she's been bedridden with illness for 3 days in a row?
Well, we confirmed she was absent one day, but 3 days is news to us as well. However, our social worker met directly with Satoko and confirmed the child denies the occurrence of abuse. When we asked if she wished to continue, she answered in the affirmative.
So there's no abuse as long as she says so?
That's one of the more difficult aspects. Whether the child herself feels she is suffering abuse or not is a very important factor. It's much like the definition of bullying. While the bully may not believe they are bullying, if the bullying's recipient believes it is.
So you can't do anything unless she admits to being abused and seeks your help yourself?
No, that's not quite how it works. Our organization investigates the child's environment, and if we find any problems that might harm their lifestyle, we take appropriate action to protect them. However, we don't believe Satoko's case has reached that level of danger at the present. No urgency at this point. That was exactly how the center felt about Satoko's case. Our classmates who have been watching the discussion burst into an uproar.
How can you say something like that? What makes you believe she's not in danger?
First of all, Satoko denies the abuse, and not only that, she has no visible injuries. She's also being provided with shelter, food, and clothes. We can't say that Tepe is not taking responsibility. Both of them seem to have no complaints about their current living arrangements. We believe we do not need to further discuss Tepe's past, but unfortunately we also believe that you and your friends are overreacting to the situation.
Oh, overreacting? Calm down, Keiichi. Let's not take it too personally. Damn it. Why are they treating us like this?
They think we're only acting this way based on what happened last year.
I see. The center was assuming that last year's cases and this year were two separate issues. On top of that, Satoko was denying the abuse entirely.
Tepe regrets the fact that he had to leave Satoko alone because of having to work for her sake. He promised he would stay with her from now on to raise her lovingly.
How does that make up for being away for a year?
Bang. I heard a loud noise. Someone just pounded the table. Everyone, including the manager, was startled. I figured it must have been Shion, but it was Reina. Her face had turned as furious as a demon's. It's best for a child to live with their parents. There are things you can only learn from the love of your family. We've heard that Satoko was living with another minor for the past year, and has not been living under any adult. Yeah, and whose fault is that? Tepe's. This could greatly harm her future, as she is a sensitive, growing child. I'm sure that in your friendship with her you believe she may be happiest this way. But could you please give Satoko and Tepe the opportunity to restart their new life as uncle and niece and watch over them kindly?
Weren't you listening to any of the things we said? You're saying you're not going to help her unless Satoko asks for help. How is she supposed to seek help if she's being locked in her house? She can't even go outside or make a phone call. How can she seek help? We came in her stead because she can't be here, but you're not even willing to listen to us.
That's not what we're trying to say. Remember that over 20 of her classmates visited to talk about Satoko's case. We will take consideration into what happened when we make further decisions about her case.
When are you going to make the decision? Can you guarantee us that Satoko won't get hurt before that decision is made?
If something happens to her, will you take responsibility?
If she gets even a single bruise on her body, you're in huge trouble. Shion, that's enough. Please, tell us when you'll make that decision. That's right. How long is it going to take you?
Like I said, we need to take the matter seriously and make a careful decision. In order to do so, we need to continue to meet with the two of them and investigate so that her and her father, her uncle, can have a better relationship. Please wait and see what happens for a while. We ask you to do so for her sake.
So that's your response. You're saying that it isn't urgent even though we came here to tell you that it is.
I was starting to get lost in what they were trying to say, but Reina's words made me realize everything. We came here to tell them they need to protect her right away. But they clearly told us they didn't see any reason to do so. We understand there may be a reason for urgency. We will take your opinion into consideration and make our decision. I hope that will satisfy you. At first glance, it sounded like they were speaking humbly, but our insistence of the urgency to Satoko's situation was spinning their wheels. They had no intention of meeting us halfway. Right. They are officials. Plus, they have the authority that can change the life of an individual like Satoko. Considering that, being a little overcautious and carefully deliberating matters wasn't the wrong response for them, and I would have understood if it wasn't so personal. But in reality, Satoko had no time to spare. We could see that, because we understood everything. We knew how Satoko would reject me after I rubbed her head, because of the horrible abuse she got from her uncle. That nightmare will come true in just a few days. In that nightmare, I knew that I should save her, but I wasted my time. I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I had to make a move immediately.
Mahabara, did you say everything you wanted to?
Yes.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Everyone, please bow. Class president, when you take the lead. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for your valuable opinions. Honestly, it just feels like the same thing over and over.
Thank you, everyone. Be careful on your way home.
We all came back to Hinamizawa together, and it was time for us to part. As the class president, Mion gave everyone the notice, we were dismissed. However, everyone stuck around to talk about what happened today. We came back to Hinamizawa on our bikes, so we didn't really get to talk to each other. Now that we'd gotten off them, we finally got to say what we wanted to.
This is the first time that everyone in the class has gotten together to fight for someone like this. It reminds me of the dam conflict. Everyone's feeling so united.
That's true. None of these kids participated in the conflict, even though they might remember it from when they were a baby.
But what we did was more polite than what they did in the dam conflict. No one's bleeding, there are no bombs or riot police.
Unity is the best thing about Hinamizawa.
That's true. This old man's blood's boiling for the first time in a while. The people in Hinamizawa all got together to fight against the dam project. Everyone working together as a team means a lot to the villagers here.
If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. If there are 2, 4 should. If there are 4, then 8. If there's 1,000, the whole village should stand up and fight. What's that? A figure of speech?
Oh, it's something our grandma used to say.
She was trying to tell the villagers to band together and fight.
When there's one enemy, 2 should fight together. When there are 1,000, the whole village should fight together. I see. She wanted the villagers to unite and defeat their enemies.
It means more than that. Unite and fight together is one thing, but it also means the whole village should unite and fight for the sake of an individual. Its real meaning is that everyone should share that individual's pain, sympathize with them, and fight for them too. Wow! That sounds very similar to what's happening right now.
In other words, the battle that we're fighting now represents Hinamizawa as a whole. I see. Everyone supported me not because they were impressed by my speech, but because it's like nature to unite like that. The classmates were all sticking around and discussing the issues surrounding Satoko. For some of them, it was like a return to the dam conflict, and also a big chance for those who never experienced it. It was almost like a festival. Most of them thought we didn't make much progress today, though.
My bar! My bar!
So their conclusion is they're not going to save Hojo, right?
Their answer wasn't that bad, but you're right in the sense that they'll watch her suffer.
I live close to him, so I know what kind of guy that uncle is. He's not normal.
We figured out the people at the child center don't understand anything. But we can't just give up after today either.
Tomita and Okamoto seemed serious. They weren't just supporting me. They wanted to make a move themselves.
We're going to work hard to save Hojo. Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to believe these are the same innocent kids who are always running around the school. I'm really happy to see them so motivated.
Of course we are. Satoko's our friend. We're going to save her. So please lend us your support again. No, my Mara. This is our responsibility as her classmates. We're not fighting because you asked us to. We're doing this because we want to. I'm impressed to hear that from you, Tomita. Shall we go there again tomorrow? I don't think we should take any days off. Consistency is important. I agree with Reina.
But it's only going to end with the same result if we go there with the same people.
I think today was more effective because there were more people. Then shall we go there with even more people tomorrow?
Reina turned back towards everyone as she spoke. We all understood what she was trying to say. Not all the children from Hinamizawa go to the Hinamizawa branch school. Around half of them go to school in Okonomiya. Those children are not our classmates, but they're still our friends from around the neighborhood. Hinamizawa is a small village after all. My god, are they gonna bring the entire village? That'd be so funny. They know Satoko as well as we do, and they also know what's going on with her. Rumors spread at the speed of light in Hinamizawa. I can tell that by now everyone in the village knows about my embarrassing history of undergoing punishments.
I'll talk to Daisuke when I get home. I bet he'd come with us. I'll call my friends when I get back home too. The school in Okonomiya isn't that far from the library. That's a good idea. Let's go, let's do it.
This is turning out well. I think we can get at least 10 more people on our side.
I'll try reaching out to a few of the members of the kids club too.
I think I can get at least 3 of them to come with us.
I'll ask my friends from Crown School too. But none of them know about Satoko or her situation. They're just friends of mine, so it'll only be about 4 people.
Do you think it might be difficult to get other adults involved?
Well...
The people on the town council don't want anything to do with the Hojo family because of what happened during the dam conflict. How about other people? Can't you get the old people on our side, Rika?
older people are bitter towards Satoko.
People who believe in the curse of Oyashiro really think that the Hojo family deserves what they get. So we can only get more children, but no adults. How many of us will there be? At this rate, there are going to be about 17 more children. I don't know if they'll all make it, but hopefully there will be more than 40 of us.
40 people. I'm impressed, Keiichi.
You think 40 is enough, Rika?
What?
I grinned and tapped Rika's chest. It's not enough! 40's not enough to knock out these stubborn people. We need at least 20! I'm sure 60 people would intimidate them. But where can we get that much help? You have no idea. My name is Keiichi, my bar. If I say I'm going to accomplish something, I will. So that's the whole story, Kameda-kun. We're going to launch our third attack tomorrow evening. Will you help us? I don't want to request your request, Kei. We ate that jumbo parfait together. That's our vow as sworn brothers. I want to help you, Kei. But tomorrow's not a good day. What? Why is that? You can't lend a hand to this poor innocent girl. Where's your pride as a two-dimensional warrior? You deserve a beating. Clench those teeth. Ugh. Wait a minute, Kei. Please listen. I would help her if it wasn't tomorrow. Of course, I love tested schoolmates, and I'd normally be happy to even lick Satoko's stacks. But I just can't tomorrow. You bastard. Tell me, Kameda. I'll knock at least 3 of your teeth out if you can't even if you can't make it because of your parents' funeral. I can't come tomorrow because tomorrow's the dessert fiesta here at Angel Mort. What did you say? It's the dessert fiesta, Kei. It's the dessert fiesta of Angel Mort. It gets bonus points for using hiragana for fiesta. I actually won an admission ticket. I'm not going to invite anyone but you. Let's go and pig out on those sweet girls and eat cakes. Please, Kei. I'll help you the day after tomorrow. But please let me go to the fiesta. Please, I'm begging you. Keiichi? I think you should let him go for tomorrow. No! I can't let him go. Kameda, you dared to weigh cakes against a real little girl? You only gain the right to eat cake when you can save the girl. For starters, you don't even have an understanding of how good Satoko is. Listen, Satoko's charm is that which seems sin at first glance. But as you set off her flag, she grows She's a classic tsundere. You should understand the greatest appeal of a tsundere lies in the gap between her sun and dere. Normally she's all sun without 1 ounce of eroticism, but once you flip her switch, she's suddenly different. The gap between her on and off states is her charm. She's just like that first and last half of the Higurashi plot itself. In other words, Satoko is the true Miss Higurashi. On top of that, she has added spice to the little sister element that's growing standard now, as well as being a Satoko. She's the new generation of heroine, with the perfect level of rebellious spirits, making the grand descent in this world overflowing with romantically dependent heroines. You want to know how amazing her advent is? She is incredible as a blonde princess alighting into an open field. But she's not a goddess, so don't go spouting upload her path, please. If you can't understand or appeal, then what are you? Where's your pride as a 2D warrior? What would you dare say mere moving to fake 3D now with the increases in polygon count? You're a century too earlier. I progenied from the age when heroines were displayed in 256-bit with 8 colors. They found love in Moe there, evolving their emotions to even higher dimension. None of that was to escape into this 2D world. It was an evolution of love derived from the love of a real woman. The statue of Venus, Mona Lisa, are all the epitome of our progenitors' feelings of Moe. By the way, I think the girl with the fewest pixels was Kei from Young people nowadays probably can't even tell that she's a girl. Oh, by the way, the Princess Drag whatever was also amazing. She was also wearing a short skirt and crown and she had a scepter. She even changed into a swimsuit and funny girl outfit. Am I the only one who thinks she's the oldest cosplaying heroine in the history of Japanese arcade games? It's amazing I was able to play those games for only 50 yen! But remember, we found our feelings of Moe in these beautiful girls that lay beyond the 16x16 pixel art! Yes, we 2D's warriors search for the truth behind these walls of pixels and polygons, seeing their true form. So how could you say you would choose those pixels and polygons over a real, live little girl that exists within those walls between you? That proves you've lost sight of your goal and settled for half measures. 3D warriors do not deny the 3D. They're a new generation of 3D warriors who love 3D even more, trying to express that detail through 2D symbols. Though calling it 2D is bad when it's elevated above 3D. You may get confused because 2 sounds inferior. That's why Microsoft named their console Xbox 60, because Xbox 2 would sound inferior to PlayStation 3! Why is it marked out as because it's copyright? Or brand? Anyways, all I want to say is this. Which console is going to get Resident Evil and Metal Gear? What is going on right now? By the way, the new Dead or Alive is coming out too, right? Is it true that Zack is made out of the same number of polygons as the female character's breath? Anyway, forget about that. Buckle down! Save the real girl! I'm sorry. I was in the wrong. What was I thinking? What have I done? Mistakes are there so you could realize you made them. You just realized your mistake and became a better man. Take my hand. The door to the next millennium is right in front of you. Keiichi and Kameda seem to be having fun! I have no idea what they're talking about. Don't bother, don't bother. I got it, Kei. On my honor as a man, I will help you save that girl. They have dessert fiestas 4 times a year. So what if I miss one? Not a big deal.
He seems so down. Meep.
By the way, Mion, you said you were going to give me 3 years worth of dessert fiesta admissions as a reward for the auction, right? I'll give you 1 year admission if you help me, Kameda. No, thank you, Kei. I'm a man. I'd be ashamed if I was saving this girl because I was getting a reward.
Gee, do you think we can do something for him? Do you?
Oh, how about this?
I'll remove his name from the blacklist.
Blacklist? What's that? Normal customers don't know about this, huh? There are customers that cause trouble in this restaurant sometimes. When they do something wrong, their name gets written on the blacklist. Once their name gets written down enough times, they're no longer able to enter the restaurant. Stop it now. I'm an Angel Mort Master. I would never behave so unmannered as to get myself on such a blacklist. You touched a waitress improperly twice, called a waitress just to talk to her, and sold tickets outside the restaurant. You'll be forbidden from entering after 1 more transgression. No way! I can't believe this! That's horrible! If I can't come to Angel Mort, I'll have no reason to live! However, I'm I'm impressed that you're so willing to save Satoko. I'll erase your name from the list as a reward.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you!
Hey, me! Does that blacklist really exist?
This old man has no idea. Hameda, thank you. Let me know if you can't get a ticket for next dessert fiesta. I'll invite you. Okay. Hug. We affirmed our strong friendship. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll bring my baseball team members with me. I should be able to get at least 10 people. It sounds like her uncle's a really crazy guy. Wouldn't it be faster just to kick his ass rather than going to the child consultation center?
We can't do that. Otherwise he'd take revenge on Satoko.
I see. Of course we can't commit murder either. Alright. Let's do it the right way. We don't want to get arrested by the police. 10 people still not enough. Do you think we could get more from somewhere? Heh, you need more, huh? Let me take care of it. Maida grinned at me, then suddenly stood up and shouted. Hey, you guys! You heard everything, didn't you? Forget those who have a ticket for tomorrow. I'm not going to force you. But if you're free, give us a hand. Everyone in the restaurant looked at him. There were a lot of people around. The dessert fiesta is tomorrow, so shouldn't it today have just been a normal day? You're not wrong, but the people who missed out on tickets for the dessert fiesta are here today. All these guys are regulars. I don't know their names, but we see each other from time in this restaurant. What do you think about his story, you guys?
The longer I listen to it, the more upset I get. Isn't that right, my comrades? Locking up a real girl? I want to do that. I mean, I can't allow that to continue. I'll punish any guy who can't be nice to a girl. He can do it with his imagination, but it's unacceptable in the real world.
Tell us to come with you, Kate.
We admire your hunger! The Okonomiya squadron is prepared to enact a rescue operation. Please give us the order to attack. This is Operation Satoko. Your mission starts tomorrow evening.
Make sure your clock is on time and your will is written. This may be the day you die. All right. I'm sorry, you guys. Thank you for your help. You don't even know her. We can't abandon her just because of a tiny thing like that. I'm giving all these tacos just strange, weird voices.
Besides, we know very much about Princess Satoko. My fellows and I enjoy indulging in warm sentiments that fill our hearts when the young lady fails to notice a bit of cream stuck to her chin. Therefore, this is a personal matter for us as well.
Alright, you guys. I'm going to rely on you. You need to back me up, okay? Be ready to fight tomorrow evening.
Yeah! Kei! Kei! Kei!
Keiichi's so popular!
He's popular with the town council, too. He seems to be popular in the most unexpected places. Lots of other people seem to respect him, too.
Some of the waitresses here are also concerned about Satoko. They said they want to come and support us when they're off. Wow! I guess we have about 60 people now! We might even get more than that!
So, is this the power to defeat fate?
That night, I attended a meeting for the Minagoroshi Festival Committee. Everyone assembled at the meeting room in the Furude Shrine. I'd seen the building a few times, but I hadn't actually been inside before. There were pictures depicting the history of the dam conflict on the wall. According to Neon, this assembly building had been used as the headquarters of the big dam protest back in the day.
There was a huge flag that said Onigafuji Guardians hanging on the wall. People had written messages on it. I had been called to the meeting so I could introduce myself. While I'd been chosen to be the host of the auction several days ago, this was my first time actually attending a meeting. There were about 30 committee members in the room, and my dad and I were introduced to them. Since I'm still a minor, I had to bring him along with me. I'd often heard the term parental rights recently because of Satoko's situation, and because of that, I'd been thinking about the relationship between me and my dad. The Maibara family is a pretty happy one, I think. I'm blessed to have parents like them. Hello, I'm Keiichi Maibara. This is my first time doing something like this, and I'm very nervous, but I'll do my best.
Hear, hear. You do your best, young man.
Their friendly smiles and applause made me realize again how welcoming the people are in this village. I felt pressured as I thought about how big of a responsibility I was going to undertake. Since I looked so nervous, the leaders of the committee all came up to me and said I could just act natural and do my thing.
Thank you for offering my son such an important position. I'm sorry I'm unable to participate in council activities due to my job, but I'll do what I can to support him.
My dad must be used to making speeches. All right then, we'll break up into groups and start the meeting. It's going to last until 8:50 p.m. Please begin your discussions as soon as you can. The festival committee can be broken up into teams, like general affairs, construction, refreshment, and ceremony. Each team has separate meetings. My dad and I were told to join the event team, but after all, we joined towards the end without knowing anything, and the festival was next Sunday too. I didn't understand anything they were saying, and I couldn't even express my opinions anyway. Nodding and pretending to participate in the proceedings was the most I could do. Near the end, I finally got the information about the auction I needed. I found out what time I was supposed to be backstage and other stuff about my job like that. They asked me what I was going to wear, and I stopped short. I thought I could just wear my regular clothes, but they suggested I should wear something more flashy since I was the host. I don't have any clothes like that. How about a suit with a bow tie? That'll make you look like a real MC. A bow tie? That's embarrassing. I won't wear something more casual than that. How's the meeting going, Kei? What you talking about? They're talking about what he's going to wear during the auction. If you don't have anything flashy, I can get you something like that. Really? Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Keiichi's father. Dad, I don't trust him getting me proper clothes. I'm sure he won't get me anything for men. Bow tie's fine. I'll just wear that. If I didn't compromise on that, Edie and Mian would try to make me wear something outrageous. She'd also want me to wear women's clothes. You're part of the committee too, huh? Which team are you on? He's on the general affairs team, where he's in charge of first aid. We always ask him for his help since he's a doctor and all. All I have to do is give bandits to people who trip and fall. It's an easy job for the most part. I'm used to just drinking beer under the main tent. It's nothing compared to your work, my bar. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to drink barley tea with him too. Meepaha.
You absolutely cannot, Furude. Oh, good evening, Maibara. Nice to see you too, Maibara. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for being so nice to my son all the time. Maibara, are you ready for the auction? I'm looking forward to seeing your show. It felt weird to see Chi and the principal outside of school. Rika, you're performing a dance, right? I heard it's right after my show. I'm looking forward to it. It's a traditional ceremony she's performing. I'm sure you're nervous about it, huh? How do you feel this year?
I'm used to it by now, so I'm fine.
You've only done it once last year, but you're already used to it? I'm impressed. Maba! It's been a while.
Oishi! It's nice to see you! Have you been practicing the Tsubame Gaishi? We should play together. You won't get better unless you play every day, you know? You know how to play Mahjong, my Bara? Oh, he knows how to play, don't he? He's a pretty good player, too. Perhaps we really should start playing Mahjong in our club now. Please no.
We should go and crush every mahjong parlor in the city.
Oh, she thinks I'm an experienced player since I was practicing Tsubame Gaishi the other day. Why do people misunderstand me all the time? By the way, Mabara, I heard about the case. What case? About what you're planning to do tomorrow evening. A few of my staff members are now going to be... Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Are going to be there as well. Takano and Tomitake are coming too. We can't bring that many people, but I hope you'll let us join. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Every person counts.
Irie.
I'm sorry we can't do much to help her, but we still want to do something. This is what Takano suggested.
Takano?
Yes? She wanted to help somehow. She feels bad she wasn't able to assist you the other day. Oh, you talking about that rumor? The one saying that Mabara's become the leader of a protest group or something? Even you know about it? You know about Satoko? Of course he does. He's very sensitive to rumors inside the village. It's only my job. I'm very aware what's going on with Satoko. Oishi, what do you think about her case? Well, she is, after all, a police officer. But you really have an opinion other than to go to the child center? I also think that going to the consultation center is the smartest thing to do. Then you're also saying there's no way to save her before something happens? We would probably do the same thing. We'd meet with him and tell him not to harm her. I'm sure a professional social worker can do a better job than that, though. They take care of these abuse issues better than the police can. The police only take action after something happens, but the Child Consultation Center can make a move before it does. It'd be a lot easier for us if we could arrest criminals before they commit crimes. However, we need to be very careful about whom we arrest, you know? We don't want to lose our jobs. In that sense, there's nothing wrong with them saying that they want to wait and see for a while.
Meep.
Well, I don't think the child center is being unreasonable. However, it must seem terrible from the point of those who know Satoko and Tepe. Or she was right. They must be assuming we're overreacting by making such a big fuss. It's only been a couple of days since he took her away. But that mindset can create huge problems. I'm sure they're going to call him tonight because we told them she's been missing school for 3 days. They'll ask him why she hasn't gone to school.
Tepe might beat her up for that.
I don't know. However, if he continues to keep her at home after the phone call, the Child Consultation Center will probably make a move. I think they'll talk to him about it. So she might come to school tomorrow? That's possible. Tepe can't stay in Okonomiya for some reason. That's why he needs to stay at Satoko's house. I'm sure he doesn't want any further trouble. He can't stay in Okonomiya for some reason? That's right, for some reason. I heard that he has some kind of money-related trouble. You don't know about that, Suzonozaki-san? I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean, Mion? There's a reason he wants to stay in Satoko's house? Well, yeah. Tepe has money issues, so he can't live in Okonomiya anymore. He's hiding out in Hinamizawa until the trouble brews over. Then he should hide somewhere alone. Why would he try and drag Satoko into this?
You want Satoko as your maid, right? It's the same thing.
No! That's not right! Maids are about love! There is love behind my desire. I'm totally against violence. A master should treat his maid with love. Let's just ignore the pervert for a moment. So, Oishi, you think there's no choice but to let the consultation center take care of it? I think that's the most realistic plan. There are certain steps that you need to follow. When you take a piss, you gotta go to the toilet and pull down your zipper. If you don't follow those steps, it could end in disaster. That's a gross way to put it. Disgusting old man. I'm sorry, I can't help you. But I do find Satoko's case unfortunate. I hope everyone gets to have a happy ending. The Child Consultation Center is going to make the decision regardless, but what you guys are doing isn't against the law either. What you're doing, my Bara, is not a mistake. Don't give up. Do all that you can. I'll support you too. Thank you so much. We went there yesterday and today, and we're gonna go there tomorrow too. I believe we can save her as long as we don't give up. 3 days in a row, huh? I heard you took 20 people with you today. Are you gonna take that many tomorrow too? Kei is really talented when it comes to stuff like this.
You'll be surprised. There's going to be 60 people tomorrow.
That's amazing! I can see you becoming an active labor union leader when you grow up. The head of our union is pretty deplorable. At that moment, I heard some clapping. It was almost 9 p.m. The meeting was over. Everyone returned to their seats and listened to each section head's report on what they discussed. You're incredible, Keiichi. You know so many people. But there are even more that I don't know. Are you sure? You were talking with so many of them. I really am impressed. You're such nice people. Maybe I should be more involved too. You should. You know, how it's all about helping each other. I know you're busy with work, but you should involve yourself as much as you can. I'll talk to your mother about that, I think. That's it for the meeting today. The next meeting is tomorrow. I'll see you all then. It'll be the last major meeting before the festival. Thank you for coming today. Chairman, will you give us some closing remarks? Oh, he has an avatar. No, it's fine. Let's just go home and get some drinks. That's it for now. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Haha! Everyone laughed at. That's the mayor. I expected him younger. At Mayor Kimiyoshi's closing remarks. We finished cleaning up and everyone began filing out of the building. Even though it was a weekday, some of them were going out for drinks. They asked my dad to go. My dad isn't an ordinary worker. He can sleep in if he wants to as long as he makes deadlines. Keiichi, they want me to come for a drink, so I'm gonna go, okay? Sure, have fun. I'm heading home now. Going home was kind of sad, so I thought I'd walk home with Mion, but she was still lingering at the meeting talking with the mayor and other important people. She was probably busy with the festival being so near. As I contemplated whether to wait for her or not, Oishi came up to me. Good job at the meeting. How did you get here? I can give you a ride home if you want. I came here on my bike. Plus, I'm waiting for Mion. I see. You'll be waiting a while, though. They're discussing the trouble they had with the refreshment booth team. Trouble with the refreshment booth team? It seems like such a fun festival, but they still have some issues, huh? Oh, yeah. It's hard to make adjustments this late. Shaved ass and yakisoba are always popular, and as everyone wants to do those. But it'd be a problem if all booths sold yakisoba, right? They need to make those kind of adjustments so there'll be a variety. But people get upset when they have to run a booth that's not going to make much money, you know? They suggest running the booths in rotation every year, but some people don't have enough staff to do certain kind of booths. And other people claim that their yakisoba is better than everyone else's. They also fight about locations, who to hire, etc., etc. I had no idea that preparations for the festival were so complicated. Everything needs adjustments. I guess it does sound boring, adult talk for a young man like yourself. But adjustments are necessary to make things go smooth. What you're doing at the Child Consultation Center is a secret adjustment in a way. Satoko and Teppei don't even know about it. Ugh, I guess you might be right. But we have no choice but to raise our voices. That's the only option we've got. No, I'm proud to see you do something like this. If I was your age, all I'd be able to think of is attacking them in the dark. Well, she must have had no other plans. He stuck around while I waited for Mion. There was no one else around at that time of night. It would have felt pretty lonely if he hadn't been there with me. I'm glad Oishi stayed to chat. We talked about mahjong for a while. Its theory, techniques, history. I rarely talk to a guy his age, so it was interesting for me. It's nice to interact with people from a different generation sometimes. He's also a police officer. I was secretly hoping he might give me a hint about how to save Satoko. In any case, I had to wonder what was taking me on so long. By the time Oishi finished his second cigarette, I started to think maybe I should just go home for the night. I think I'm gonna head home. Mion's taking too long. I have something big to take care of after school tomorrow. Going to the Child Consultation Center, you mean? Yep. I'm going to fight until they come up with a plan to save Satoko. Consistency is important. This is all we can do. Oishi smiled upon hearing my passionate words. I bet the Child Center understands your point by now. You know, there's a limit to what you can do. It's important to know when to quit. If you go too far, it'll only make things more complicated. But I can't just let her suffer. Of course you can't. I'm sure that the Child Consultation Center won't leave her be either. They will help her. They might help her, but probably only after she gets hurt. If Satoko suffers irreversible mental trauma, it'll be too late. Oishi took out his third cigarette. That meant he was going to stay here until he finished it. I didn't feel like waiting here with him, though. I just wanted to go, relax, so I could prepare for tomorrow. I'm heading off now. You know, Mabara, there's something I wanted to tell you. Oh no. The tone of his voice had changed slightly. Whatever it was, it sounded important. Stopped and turned back around to face him. Actually, you see, I don't think you should go to the consultation center. You made your point already. But we need to do this. We have to save Satoko. They aren't getting how urgent the situation is. We have to make even more of a fuss, if that's what it takes for them to understand. So remember how Teppei is on the police's, I don't want to say hit list, but like they think he'll be a target of the curse, and they're watching him to try and find the culprit. So I think what Oishi is trying to do is he doesn't want Keiichi's plan to succeed because he doesn't want Teppei getting removed from the picture, right? I think we'll make a bigger impact if we go 3 days in a row. You're trying to show them every courtesy, huh? But you know, Mabara, sometimes you should just let sleeping dogs lie. What? Let me make this clear. This isn't a warning from the police, and no one told me to tell you this. I'm just giving you advice as your mahjong friend. The word advice didn't sound pleasant at all. I felt myself frowning involuntarily. Do you know what the Child Consultation Center is thinking? You guys showed up 2 days in a row, and you brought 20 people with you today. They're afraid you'll show up again tomorrow. Huh. Then why don't they just listen to us? I hope they're not planning to build a barricade so we can't get in tomorrow. No, they won't do that. Their job is to listen to these claims. They'll accept anyone who's come to make an appeal. They can't stop you from coming no matter how many times you show up. They know that too. So they need to take care of the matter before you bring even more people and cause even more trouble. You mean, have they already made the decision to save Satoko? Not quite. They've started making secret adjustments so you can't come by to pressure them anymore. What do you mean? They made a secret adjustment so I can't bother them? Felt confused, and then Oishi said something that almost sounded like a line from a political drama. These officials sometimes act a bit like the Yakuza. They don't want their badge disrespected. It's normal for them to ignore opinions opposing the decisions they made, even if they realize their office is in the wrong. So if they listen to us, other people will come to the office to get their cases taken care of. That's exactly it. They don't want people challenging their decisions. They'll listen to your appeal, but they'll never change their stance unless there's something all going on. Plus, this time Satoko's case is nothing special or noteworthy to them. He may have taken her away from where she lived, but it's a legal act since he has parental rights. It's not like a parent without custody forcing his child to live with them. After all, he's the only blood relative she has. There's nothing, legally speaking, that prevents them from living together. But that's not the case with Satoko and her uncle. You know that. You know how violently he abused her last year. That was last year. The consultation center can't do anything about it if he tells them he feels remorse over what happened then. And more than anything, Satoko told them he's not abusing her. That's because Satoko relied on her brother, and she deeply regrets overburdening him. So as far as she's concerned, seeking help feels like she's betraying her brother. I see. It might be very difficult to persuade the child consultation center in that case. Well, anyways, for a reason like that, the center can't understand why you and your group are pressing this so hard. We're just trying to let them know Teppei is a violent person, and we can't let Satoko stay with him. But why? You weren't here in Hinamizawa last year. I don't think you know much about Teppei. Why are you so sure he's dangerous? That was a hard question to answer. He was right, I didn't know much about Teppei. I'd never even seen his face. But I just know. Way back in a different world, I didn't save her. I just stood by, and I've seen the world where Satoko was irreversibly broken. We all cried and regretted it. I couldn't explain that to Oishi, though. My friends had understood my premonition, but it's weird for someone to be so aggressive just based on what he saw in his imagination. I mentioned it earlier, but sometimes a divorced couple battles for custody of their child. The couple can sue each other, and sometimes their relatives sue the couple too. Some of them decide not to sue their partner not for the child, but just because they hate him. This case is a bit similar to something like that. It looks as though you're taking the actions you are because you hate Teppei Hojo. The child center needs to determine if you're doing this out of hate or out of genuine concern toward Satoko. Not all people go to the center out of goodwill just like you. They can only make a decision after carefully determining if the information given by the petitioner is genuine or not. You need to understand that. So you're saying that because I was too direct, they've mistaken my appeal as one born of ill will? No, you don't have to worry about that. Just please try to understand that they have to evaluate it carefully. If they put a child under protection every time they got a report, the nation would careen out of control. That's right. I think there was a passage in the civil law book that showed us the first day. The family or the prosecutor must make an appeal to the family court. Family issues have to be resolved within the family. An outside appeal might move the center to take action, but an outsider can't tell them how to respond. And when it comes to that, Satoko's only family is her uncle. Since her uncle obviously wasn't going to do anything about this, Satoko would have to seek help on her own. But Satoko is denying she's being abused. This isn't going anywhere. The consultation center is simply hoping you'll give up. They have other cases that need more urgent attention, but they're not sure yet if they should ask you to give up. That's what I wanted to tell you. What? What do you mean? I don't get it. Mabaru, when you visited them today, did they treat you better than yesterday? Yeah, a bit. We were taken to a bigger room. The manager came to see us too. You might think that the manager is ranked just a little bit above the staff members. However, his position is as high as that of a section chief in a regular company. It's very difficult to achieve that position. The person you talked to today is actually a very powerful man, more than you can imagine. It's not normal for them to do that. The manager never shows up for a consultation. You need to recognize that the treatment you got today was very special. It never seemed special to me. I thought we were taken to a big room because we were more people, and Reina told them to adjust us. Because you were well organized, they suspected that you're not the actual leader and that the Sonozaki families are the ones behind this movement. I'm sure you know how powerful the Sonozaki family is in this village. I do. But it has nothing to do with the Sonozaki family. We're simply fighting to save our friend. Mian hasn't even mentioned her name. That's what the center wanted to know. It's their normal routine to politely refuse a huge crowd of petitioners. However, things would be different if it was Oryo Sonozaki's idea. Oryo holds great sway in the city government. No one can go against her wishes. I'm aware Mian's grandmother is very powerful, but that has nothing to do with this. In order to make that clear, the local government officials have approached the Sonozaki family in secret. They met Oryo and asked her about this case. They were going to take action if they found out it was her idea. But they soon discovered otherwise. So, they're not going to take action anymore? It's not just that. Oryo is now aware there's commotion going on within the village. I'm not sure if you're aware, but some people in the village still hold a grudge against the Hojo family, the traitors of the dam conflict. Ever since the curse of Oyashiro-sama, the Sonozaki family has been telling people not to interact with the Hojo family. You might wake up a sleeping dog if you continue to make all this noise. What happens if I wake the dog up? I don't know. Stupid Oishi. Oishi paused for a while and drew on his short cigarette. I'm not saying you'll be threatened or they'll hurt you. However, you just moved here and you're starting to get to know people from the village, but soon enough you might get to see the other side of this place. The issues between the Hojo family and the Sonozaki family. Well, village-wide matters have been slightly taboo in our group. We may have to go down that road now. It's a fact that we haven't gotten any support from the adults, except for school teachers and Ire. Other adults in the village must know what happened between Satoko and Teppei last year. They all understand that it would be a disaster if we don't rescue Satoko as soon as possible. However, no adult came forward to help us. If we continue our movement, will the people who hate the Hojo family become our enemies too? That's possible. The Sonozaki family may get involved if you continue this commotion. You could say the Sonozaki family is anti-Hojo, but Mion and Shion are with us. If you try to save Satoko using people from Hinamizawa, that shows huge disrespect towards the Sonozaki family. It could create a huge problem. At that point, I knew. This was a warning, not just advice. An ignorant young man in Hinamizawa is making noise, trying to wake up a sleeping dog. I know you've taken a liking to this place and that you're really doing your best here. That's why I thought I should let you know. I'm sorry if I upset you. I love Hinan. I've made a decision to make this place my home. I'm motivated about the big job I got for the festival, too. Yeah, I really think that this is just like what Rika said in the opening. Would it really be wise for me to try and create all this trouble? I'm just speaking as your friend, nothing more. I'm not trying to threaten you or anything like that. I'm not trying to make you do anything you don't want to do. I just wanted to give you this information. Oh, she smiled at me, then stomped on his cigarette. I thought I had made the decision to do what was right. But that was only the stupid idea of an ignorant little boy? Did I need to grow up and think about this again? Dark clouds hung over my heart. But wait a minute. Did that mean I didn't even have the courage to risk losing something? Was I not brave enough to save Satoko at all? I had to be the red fire. I couldn't give up, even if everybody else did. I had to fill up people with righteous flames, just like I was. What's the matter? What a bold smile you're wearing right now. Thank you for the valuable advice, but I can't give up no matter what you tell me. I won't stop, even if the whole world tells me to. Even if the whole world's against you, huh? You're a stronger man than I thought. If the whole world is telling me I'm making a mistake, I'll have to stop and reevaluate myself. However, I've already talked about Satoko's case with my friends over and over. This isn't just my idea. I'm confident our decision is the very best one to make. I agree with you. Young people like you tend to make hasty and dangerous decisions. However, all of you are being very rational about this. You're making a diplomatic appeal. Just like Irie was saying, there's nothing wrong with your methods. I know! I'm positive we're not making any mistakes. We're doing our best to save our friend. We're not going to give up just because we feel threatened. We are her true comrades. I have faith in us, even if the rest of the world doesn't. That's what friendship is about. You have a strong will. Not even my detectives are as strong as you. Oishi gave me a wicked grin of admiration. I could tell from that grin. He wasn't trying to pressure me at all. It was exactly the opposite of that. He had shared this information with me to confirm that I was ready to face this challenge. I didn't even have to consider whether his words were advice or a warning. Every man has many things he wants to keep believing in, even if others don't share that belief. Of course, it's important to listen to advice with sincerity, but some beliefs you still can't turn away from. That's what being a man is about. I also have a strong will, you know? About 5 years ago, a person who was like a brother to me was killed. He was murdered? The case was declared solved, but I'm continuing an investigation alone because I suspect there's another person in control behind the scenes. The department told me I was wasting my time. They told me to stop. But just like you, I can't give up. Are you getting close to find out who did it? I don't know about that. Anyway, if your resolve is that strong, then there's nothing for you to fear. Just follow through on your beliefs. I'm often threatened to show more restraint if I want to keep my full retirement pay to myself. But I've never given in. There's a lot of things we men can convey without being unwavering. Mama, exactly right. We can't give up no matter how risky it'll be. It's important to pursue your goal, and even if you end up playing into their hand, that's what being a man is about. If you're going down, then go down fighting. You're right. Waffling between whether to go or go back isn't the attitude of a real man. That's how a man should be. We bumped our fists together, reaffirming that real men are the same regardless of the generation. It wouldn't be a simple road to saving Satoko, but I was never going to give up. I was going to save her. I had no doubts about that. I think I want to go through... I would love to go through this chapter and count how many times they say the exact same things, because I'm pretty sure it's over 100. Also, that chapter was really boring, too. It's just like we're still not getting new information. Like, yes, once again, new methods, but we're not getting any of the mystery. I mean, Keiichi's trying to change fate. Yeah, but, like, I don't know. He's still not remembering anything. Like, it was pretty much the same as the last chapter. Like, they went to the consultation center. He had a pep talk from Moishi. He remembered things from another world, but didn't pursue it. Like, it's just the same thing again. Like, go somewhere, book. Don't just repeat the same thing over and over. And I'm just irritated because it started off like bam, bam, bam. We were getting like so many answers, you know, and like so many mystery crackers. And then it just like went back and now we're not getting anything. Like, I feel like we're stuck. We're not progressing. All right. In any case, let's save this here. And we're going to call that a day. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Au revoir.